Wonderful day, grade 10. How's learning so far? It's nice to see you again for another learning experience. This week, it's Module 4 of Quarter 1 that we will be discussing. That is, achieving the competency of comparing and contrasting the contents of the material viewed with outside sources of information in terms of accessibility and effectiveness. So with that, here is our lesson for today. In this lesson, you will compare and contrast the materials viewed with outside sources of information in terms of accessibility and effectiveness. Well, specifically, this module will guide you to identify the different accessible materials for viewing, enumerate the characteristics of an effective viewing material, and use a table for comparison and contrast. Now let's do first the pretest. Directions. Read the questions carefully and write the letter of the correct answer on your answer sheet. Number 1, what does media provide? A, all kinds of games. B, all kinds of information. C, all kinds of rules and laws. Or D, all kinds of entertainment only. Okay, and the answer is the media provides all kinds of information. Number 2, which platforms can be used in delivering information in media streaming? A, newspaper, radio, broadcast, magazines. B, photography, cinema, and cell phones. C, cell phones, television, and photography. Or D, magazines, newspaper, and telegram. Alright, for question number 2, the answer is letter B. Platforms can be used in delivering information in media streaming. It is photography, cinema, and cell phones. Question number 3. What refers to the use of video, audio, and animation? Is it A, media streaming, B, broadcasting, C, information technology, or D, PowerPoint? And the answer is, okay, media streaming. It refers to the use of video, audio, and animation. Okay, for question number 4, which of the following platforms can be used in the e-learning? A, television, broadcasting, and the internet. B, cinema, music, and theater. Or C, information technology and science. D, newspaper and magazines. Okay, the answer is letter A, television, broadcasting, and internet. Question number 5, what does news provide? A, report on important occasions. B, broadcast of important events. C, information about important people. or the streaming of local films? Okay, for this question, the answer is letter C. News provide information about important people. All the questions you just get answered are the things that we will encounter as we move on. Last week, we have determined how textual aids help us in understanding a text, right? Do you know that in understanding the news content, we could also use a textual aid or graphic organizer? Let's take a look. As you can see, we have a news article on the left side. And to get the important information of that news article, we could use the graphic organizer inverted pyramid. Here, the first part of the paragraph answers the questions who, what, when, where, how, and why. And that shows the newsworthiness. While the next part of the pyramid, the middle part, mentions other important details in the news. And the bottom part of the pyramid, the latter part, will be the additional or other information or details given in the news. Now try to extract the essential information of the news article using the inverted pyramid. Now, let's proceed with our lesson. We will be talking about media. So media is a type of mass communications which functions to inform, raise awareness, educate, socialize, entertain, and to set the agenda. Media simply refers to a vehicle or means of message that delivers or a system to carry a message to a targeted audience. So to fully understand media, here are some examples. So there are a lot of vehicles or means of communications, yet we can clarify them. There are 4 types of classification of media. There are a lot of vehicles or means of communications, yet we can classify them. There are actually 4 types of classification of media or media classification. We have the print media. Okay, first is the print media. Like for example, the newspapers and magazines. Anything that is printed that gives information to the readers. Okay, print media. Another classification is the broadcast media. So example of broadcast media are television, radio. Okay, so the message is being broadcasted through the use of this vehicle, television and radio. Another classification, the third type of media classification is the support media or the outdoor or out-of-home media. Example of this are the outdoor advertising. So these are the posters, no, that we can see when we go out of the out of our homes. The transit advertising. Oh, transit advertising, like when we ride on a jeep, on a trike, or on a train, we will see some safety measures, even on airplanes, diba? We can see some um, safety measures that could help us or that informs us what do we need to do when riding on that vehicle, something like that. And also cinema and video advertising. So these are the billboards, no? Especially in cinemas, diba? There are like posters also, and that informs us, okay, gives us information about uh, what is happening or soon to be watched by the audience. Another or the last type of media classification is the internet. So we are familiar to this. Example, website. So online ads, e-commerce, email, social media. These are other medias that give us information, or these are also vehicles of information, no? So another media. Okay, summing up the four types of media or the media classification, we have the print media, the broadcast media, support media or the outdoor or out-of-home media, and the internet. Moving on, media can be accessed through media streaming in different platforms. So question, how can we access this media? Are they easy to access? So when it comes to accessibility, it refers to how easily you can access media. Your access to viewing depends on the type of streaming that you need. So you may probably encounter this streaming on your daily activity, like entertainment, no, like watching movies in Netflix or any film that can be viewed online or offline. So when it comes to media platforms naman, when we say media platforms, these are technologies and standards that allow writers or other media producers and readers and other consumers of media to interface more efficiently. So how are you going to interact? How are you going to access? No? So these are the media with the help of media platforms or platforms. Example of media platforms are, yan, you have there. You have your laptop, no, tablet, internet, TV. Okay? So as a student, what do you think is the most accessible and effective media platform for you in this time? Okay, to continue, let's talk about media streaming and its accessibility. Okay, media streaming, when we say streaming, it involves video, audio, and animation that provides the following. Again, when we say streaming, it involves video. So video where you can see, no? You can see something. Okay, it is visual. And audio. So aside from visual, aside from something that you can see, there is also something that you can hear. Okay, that's streaming. And also animation. So there is this kind of effects, something like that. So on something that you are watching, no? So aside from video, audio, there is also animation. And this provide the following. So first is the communication. So media streaming provides communication. It transmits or Message is transmitted through delivery media like television, cell phones, and other internet. So media streaming provides communication. Next, media streaming also provides entertainment, diba? And this entertainment is being transmitted through also television or pwedeng photography, sa cinema, no? And advertising. Through this, we are entertained, no? And also media streaming, ano pa? It provides us, of course, information. And it is being transmitted through broadcasting, like news broadcasting, yung report, no? News report, radio broadcast, pwede ring newspaper and magazines, no? As printed media that gives information. Also, media streaming provides us e-learning, katulad ng ginagawa natin today. So, this is e-learning, and it is being transmitted also through delivery media like television, cell phones, and internet. So, we have here video, audio, and animation. Again, the media streaming provides the following: communication, entertainment, information, and e-learning. Alright, so after a short discussion about media streaming and its accessibility, let's have this first activity, recognizing media accessibility. Okay, for letter A, it says there that you have to put a mark on the type of media which is most accessible to you, no? And mark X for the least accessible to you. So you have there the type of media, okay, 1 to 10 medias. Okay, just on your answer sheet, just write 1 to 10 and then mark check or X, check if it's accessible to you. Not, for example, number 1, newspaper, is it accessible to you? If it's accessible, then mark it check. If it's not, then mark it X. Okay, for letter B, give at least 2 forms of media that you think are not convenient to use. Explain why. Okay, we have the 10 media, okay, examples. Okay, just choose 2 among those 10, no, that you think are not convenient to use nowadays. Okay, write it 1 and 2 and explain just a very short explanation why it is not convenient to use for you. Okay? Remember, it is vital for a student to determine which material is accessible for viewing. Also, it is important for a student like you to know the characteristics of an effective viewing material. Now, to evaluate the effectiveness of the viewing materials, we must consider the following key aspects. If there is something that we are going to view or to watch, okay, consider these aspects. First, the language used in the viewing material is easy to understand. Do you understand the language being used on that viewing material? Next, the content is appropriate and relevant to the topic. Okay, if there is a certain topic, the content mentioned ba is appropriate? Hindi ba nalalayo ang content sa topic or sa pinag-uusapan? Next, the media rating is displayed, rated PG, rated G. Okay, so with this, okay, just to give you information, when we say rated PG, rated parental guidance, rated G is or general patronage or general viewers can be viewed that kind of viewing material. So, um, when it comes to media rating, we should be aware that there are viewing materials that are not for a certain age. Okay? So if you are um, 17 years old below, so most probably, of course, you can watch rated PG, or you need to have your parental guidance in watching that certain viewing material or that certain movie or certain uh, segment like that. But if it's rated G, okay, general patronage, okay, all ages can watch, okay, that viewing material, all ages. But if it's rated X, so we have this rated X, only adults can view those materials or viewing materials. Okay, that's the media rating. We should know. So you, as a student, what do you think is the media rating that you should be watching or viewing? Okay, next. It provides labels, captions, and credits. The viewing materials, does it provide labels? Okay, like captions and credits. So when we say labels, may title ba? Okay. So meron bang mga pangalan na minimension on the viewing material? Okay, captions. So are there also places named? Okay. So yan, positions, if there are people, no, mentioned in the viewing material. And also credits. Okay, when we say credits, does the viewing material recognize, for example, the cast, the characters, or does it recognize the reference to where the information came from? Okay, next. It promotes respect for racial, ethnic, and cultural diversity. So, in viewing material ba, is it something that give respect for racial? Wala ba siyang dinidiscriminate, no, na racial or ethnic or cultural diversity? So, wala ba siyang sinasaktan or tinatapakang um, people or group of people? Ayan. So, these are the key aspects on how are we going to evaluate the effectiveness of viewing material. Okay, if there is, if the media or the viewing material has its key aspects, no, or the key aspects that we need to, or the producers of those viewing materials need to follow. Also, as viewers, there are responsibilities that we need to follow as well as responsible viewers. So, to be responsible viewers, these are the tips, no, that we can follow. First is choose an appropriate program to watch. So here, we should remind ourselves not to watch program that contains violence and adult themes. Kasi we're just student, no? You are on your age. You should not be watching violence movies or viewing material and adult theme um, viewing material or movies, because that's not appropriate for you as a student. So watch only those appropriate to you, no? Yung programs that appropriate to your age. Okay? Next. Okay, to be responsible viewer, We need to observe the MTRCB rating and follow its advice. As I explained a while ago, always remember that your age requires rated G, no, and rated PG, which require guidance from your parents. Also, limit your viewing time up to 3 to 4 hours a day only, because excessive watching may lead to poor health, especially on our eyes. Kasi 'di ba, merong mga yung screen meron niyang nilalabas na radiation. So which is not good for our eyes. So that really affects our health. And also enjoy watching informative programs. So we should enjoy much for the programs that gives us information. It is also important for us, really important for a student like you to learn more about health related, society related issues, no? Where you can uh, relate, no, as a student. Okay? And also, ayan, it is also good to watch entertaining programs then as long as you know your rules and limit. I know most of us watch, di ba, nowadays, mga Korean movies, no? Like Running Man, ganon. It is also good to watch those entertaining programs kasi kailangan natin yan, no? We also need to smile, to laugh, no? But of course, we need to know our rules and limit ourselves as well. Baka puro entertainment na lang ang anuhin natin, panoorin natin maghapon. Huwag naman po, no? We should also watch informative programs. Okay, again, these are the tips for responsible viewing. Okay, for this activity, you have to focus on one headline or article from the following media stream and note down important details and observations. So you have two different viewing materials or articles that you need to view. First, using the platform television, watch one segment in 24 oras, that is the good vibes segment. Okay, and then answer the questions who, what, when, where, and how. And then, using another platform, which is your cell phone or your tablet or computer, with the link given, focus also one headline or article there. And then answer the question who, when, what, where, and how. Okay, for this activity, check your understanding. You are going to compare and contrast now the contents of the materials you have viewed a while ago. So on television and on your cell phone or on your laptop or tablets, no? So with this, those are the outside sources of information. And all you have to do is you need to complete the table and answer the questions that follow. Okay, you have there the key aspects of media, like the language used in the viewing materials. Is it easy to understand? The content is the content appropriate and relevance to the topic? Or the media rating is displayed ba? Like, um, is there a rated PG or rated G or etc. on the stream that you have watched. It provides labels, captions, and credits, and does it promotes respect for racial, ethnic, and cultural diversity? Okay, are there no discriminations that um, shown on the media stream that you have watched? Okay, so just check. So on the television, using the television platform, the one that you have watched in the television. Okay, does the language used in this material easy to understand? Okay, so just check the appropriate emoji for your answer. Okay, on the cell phone, okay, platform, the viewing material that you watch on the cell phone, tablet, or laptop, does the language there, yung nasa YouTube link, okay, does the language used on that viewing material easy to understand? Also check the emoji, okay, the appropriate emoji. And then for the observation and remarks, so what have you observed? What are your observations or your remarks about the language used, okay, on the material you have viewed on the television and the one you have viewed on the cell phone? So what can you say about the language used on these two different platforms? Okay, and also the key aspects, the observations you have shown on the key aspects, on the other key aspects. Okay, and the appropriate emojis, okay, for the two. So there you will be able to compare and contrast the contents of the materials you have viewed. Okay, now for this activity. Which material displays effectiveness to viewers? Diba? You have watched two media streams, no? One in television and one on your gadget. So, which material displays effectiveness to you as a viewer? Why? So, answer that using or with 3 to 5 sentence explanation. Okay, and your work will be graded according to this criteria, your explanation and your reasoning. So there you have our rubrics on checking your explanation or your paragraph for the explanation. Okay. That ends our lesson for this week. I hope you learned a lot today. If you like this video, don't forget to share, like, and subscribe.